Here we are with the Mobiscribe Wave. I purchased this device because it was an exceptional deal, at least for what the original market value of the device was. For $99, I got this package, and this is regular over $300. I don't really think it should be that price point. I think this is probably a $199 to $220 device. Less than what you would get the Supernote Nomad for or one of the other 7.8-inch devices. But I did want to take a look at it, do the unboxing, and just some general first impressions. And then what I plan to do with this device is use it primarily as a reader to be able to read Kobo, Kindle, pretty much any reading app I want, because it does support Google Play and some of the other apps. You can do that with the Supernote Nomad, but it doesn't have that light. So for night reading, this is kind of an interesting choice for me, especially again at that price point, about the same as you would pay on sale for an entry level Kindle or an entry level Kobo, and you're getting the ability to read all of those formats. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my Kobo. I love the integration with Overdrive so you can directly check out books. All of those functions and features I love about that device. And with Kindle, you can do send to Kindle from Libby, but again, you can't cross-platform that, and I think that's the biggest issue. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this opened up and do some general first impressions. I will be doing more of a review once I've had time to use it as a reader. And just to do due diligence, I'll also do some overview and review of the writing capability. As all of you know, I'm a big Supernote fan, and I don't see myself leaving that ecosystem. But I think since I have this device, I should at least talk about those features. We'll talk about them a little bit here as well. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. This was actually on top, so we'll show this the right way. And I love, first of all, the packaging. I like the idea of the cardboard, and this could have been a piece of paper or cardboard, but I like that there's no tape. There's not a lot of plastic. You'll notice the stylus right here. So kind of a inexpensive stylus, I believe, with a traditional nib, what appears to be an eraser on the back, but not a horrible stylus. I mean, for a non-heart of metal or non Supernote stylus anyway, pretty decent. This is the Wave itself. Nice little device. The look of it, I kind of like. Oh, it looks like it powered directly on when I pulled it up. I must have hit the button by accident against the top there. So it's loading right up. You'll see here that it does have a little piece to pull off. This tape started here. Pull the film off. And you'll see that front light is pretty aggressive out of the box. So it pops right up. But that startup experience, it wasn't my intention to start it up immediately, but it did. It started right up and has looks like a full charge. So we'll kind of put that. Let's finish the other unboxing pieces for a minute, and then we'll come back to this. You've got your documentation with your quick start guide here. You've got your USB-C to USB-A cable, which again, not very expensive, kind of flimsy, but quite frankly, I have so many of these now that I could use pretty much anything to charge my devices. But it is nice that they go ahead and give this to you in the package. It looks like it comes with 3 replacement nibs and a nib extraction tool. Let's go ahead and look at the Wave. Let's turn this front light down a little bit and see what we can get. Go to settings and let's go to display. Turn our brightness down. Maybe that'll make it a little bit more readable. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take it all the way down just to see what that looks like. There we are. So went ahead and put that down to 0 so that you can kind of see what the screen looks like in natural lighting conditions. And again, I do have some office lights around, so it's not 100% natural, but it's pretty close. And then, of course, you've got your brightness level here. You also have your color temperature, so you can do kind of the warm and cold light. You'll see that that was all the way cold and the brightness off is what we had it. And you can actually turn the front light on and off this way. So let's put it at kind of middling. Let's put the temperature kind of middling. Let's take that back down. I kind of prefer the cold light unless I'm trying to go to sleep. So let's take that down. And then one thing about the wave that I heard about and that Voya had shown was this switch here at the top that allows you to turn the front light on and off manually. And then just to look at the device for a minute, you can go back and you'll see you have notes here at the top, books, a calendar, tools. So this will take you into all of your tools. And you'll see that there's the Play Store here. And what it's going to have me do is go ahead and scan this QR code, and it actually takes me to a video. So actually you have to go to your settings page, and then down here on the left, you'll see Play Store, and then you say enable Google Play. And then you copy and paste. That was user error. I had to first turn on and connect to Wi-Fi, but we can go ahead and look really quickly. So I'll copy and go to register. So I copied, it's going to take me through and pop up, and then it's going to have me register the device. All right, so I wasn't able to get Google Play set up yet for this unboxing because I think it's going to take a little bit of extra time. It does mention it could take up to anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to get the device Google Play protected. So I did all of the sign-in procedure. I went through all of the steps, but I'm still getting the error saying that it's not protected. And that's just something we'll have to look into, because when I go to do the full review and talk about how this feels and looks for Kobo and Kindle and all of those other apps, I'll want to have those installed. Now, I don't plan to install a ton of different apps on this, primarily just my reading apps, but I do want to be able to do that. And while we're here, we'll kind of just do a quick UI check. Obviously, you have Google Play once that enables. You have the Mobi Store, it says. So let's see what's in the Mobi Store. So it looks like actually from here, you can go ahead, and I may not even need to use Google Play. So I can go ahead and download Libby. I can download Overdrive. So it's nice that these are native to this device, because truth be told, I probably won't use Google Play for much of anything that I can think of. I don't know what the Tolino e-reader is, so I won't be using that. Go ahead and we'll download Overdrive, which it may, install the application. So we'll get that downloaded. Okay, and then we'll download Kobo, because one of the big things here is to really get this as a universal reader. So the idea being that I don't have to pull out my Kobo to read every time I'm doing something. And if I have books on multiple devices, or quite frankly, I do a lot of reading on Libby outside of Kobo or outside of the Kindle app, even on the Supernote. So we want to install here. Then we'll do Kindle. And this seems to install pretty quickly. Now, I could see maybe downloading a couple of apps through Google Play, just as a viewer, maybe Google News or some of my news apps to be able to read. But other than that, from readers, and then we'll want to download their PDF. I may want to include also Nook. I haven't bought anything from Barnes & Nobles, but if I did, I may want to have the Nook app to be able to read with that. So basically, the idea here is to download all of the native things so that I have it. Just make sure there's nothing we're missing here. It does have a calculator, so I will download that. The calendar is already installed, although it says it has another version here. I think we'll leave that go for now. There's Dropbox, which I don't use. See what other things they have here. That's it. So they have that calculator, which I went ahead and downloaded. They have a chess. I don't know, may mess with that at some point. And then they have the reader, and then they have different books that are kind of already installed, which is kind of cool. So, big fan of H.G. Wells. So I'll go ahead and I'll download the Time Machine. And then I'll download The Prince. by Machiavelli. And let's see. You'll notice, I mean, again, this is not going to be something you want to scroll the web on. And there is quite a bit of ghosting as you go through. And let's go ahead just for now. Oh, let's do Hound of the Baskervilles. Huge fan of Sherlock Holmes. So, downloaded a few books. Pretty easy to do. The Google Play registration was the hardest thing. And I think that was partially because I was having to use the on screen keypad to key in my password, which is a big, long, convoluted password. And that's not the fault of the device. That's just the fact that I used LastPass. But let's go back to home now that we have some things installed. And let's take a look at what we have here. So let's first go into the Books app and let's see what books we have. So let's go into the Time Machine. It loads pretty quickly. I know that there had been some other reviews I've seen where it didn't look so great. Now, I'm not a fan of this cover, and I don't know how to. I wonder why that cover looked the way it did. Maybe it was just the scan of the book they had. But the actual print on the screen does look really nice. It's a Project Gutenberg. So that's kind of cool. It looks like they have Project Gutenberg as kind of their default uh, open source library books that they give you free on the device. That's really a nice thing to see. I mean, as any of you who've seen my channel know, I'm a huge fan of Project Gutenberg. And to have that natively be what is downloaded on the device is pretty cool. So, and I'll bring this up so you can kind of see the text. See if I can get it to focus in a little bit better here. Pretty good. The contrast I like. I think it's pretty clear. I actually like the native uh, kind of no front light reader piece of it. Looks really good and it's crisp. I like that it's crisp. It seems like it's a touch. It's pretty snappy to touch. I didn't see a swipe just out of the gate. It's probably a setting. And when we go through the experience a little more, we'll talk about it. And this is an EPUB, and I believe, yeah, you can actually write on the EPUBs with this, just like you can with the Supernote. Let's see, and that's what I do. If I hit in the middle, I actually get some different writing tools. Now, we're not going to do the full review here, but it is nice to be able to have different tools. And you can change your formatting and different pieces. So pretty cool. So let's get back into the middle. It is a little finicky to get to the middle on this. So let's go ahead and get back here. So that was your book. I think it was pretty cool, to be honest. And it looks like the Prince is also Project Gutenberg. So we pop this open. Yep, Project Gutenberg. You'll see right there. Pretty neat. And again, Prince by Machiavelli, which I use to teach quite a bit. And I really do like the writing function on this. So while it's a reader primarily, it is nice to be able to take those notes or have those quick annotations. And I don't hate the writing feel. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Supernote, so that's going to be my standard. So it is a little bit different. But now if I go ahead and hit in the middle, boy, that is finicky. Maybe I've got to hold it down. We'll have to check into that. So we'll go back here. Well, let's check out the calendar and see what that looks like. Can you write on the calendar? No, it doesn't look like you can write, but you can do a memo, it looks like. So you can put a memo here, and then you can delete. So you can go ahead and delete out of there. You can change your pen thickness. Or nope, it's not a pen thickness. So that's a little tough because it writes very, very light. I don't know if you all can see that, but it's a very light writing experience. And then, of course, you can erase, but it doesn't look like there's a region eraser. So there's a clear and then, well, but the eraser function works really well. So let's show that really quick. So on the eraser function, and maybe here's where you can change, oh, that's the color. Oh, there's your thickness. Okay. So you see here, I've got the thickness. And now if I want to erase, I can just use this. It erases really quickly, and it almost feels like an actual eraser, which is kind of neat. Again, that's just for the memo. I don't believe you can add the Google Calendar to this. I mean, you could obviously add the app, but I don't think it actually allows you to, and you can rotate. And it looked like there was a rotate in the Kobo app, there was a rotate button as well. Now, obviously the Supernote calendar, and this is just first impressions, but is much more robust than this is in that it syncs with Google or Outlook, and you can write on everything but the daily view. But here you do get a lot of functionality and being able to go in, and there's your memo again, so you can write a little memo to yourself, and then you can create an event. So you can create an event, or you can create a note directly from here, so that's nice. And then you can say you want the note to be vertical or horizontal. And then it's going to create that note. And while we're here, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the notebook feature really quick. Again, I'm not going to go into any great detail here, but I'll do that in the review later. So it looks like you have undo redo tools, several different possibilities here as far as different things that you can use. You can load different thumbnails if you have thumbnails, or change your thumbnail. You've got a lasso tool. You've got some different pins. So you can, actually shapes. So if you wanted to do a shape, you could drag and get yourself a shape right here. And then when you do that, you get some other tools. So you can use the bounding box. You can, it looks like color fill maybe, or maybe not. That's just the line type. And then you can change the thickness. So the line color. So kind of neat, something you don't get on every platform. And then you can also do text. So you could create a text box. And then I wonder if they allow you, yeah, it doesn't look like it lets me. I was trying to see if there was a handwriting recognition keyboard here, at least easy to see at a quick glance. No, it looks like everything is key entry. So again, it's not going to be the experience that I would recommend for like what I'm used to with the Supernote, but it does allow you to input a text box here and do some different things with manipulation. You do get some layers. You can also pick your template. So if I wanted to pick a template, I can do that here. And it looks like it comes with some pretty uh, decent templates. One thing about it, it's very hard to see because it is a smaller screen and primarily, and you'll see the ghosting here. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. There is a lot of ghosting. So I'm going to have to figure out what the manual refresh is and just some of the different things here. But let's say that we want to go ahead and let's just pick this page here. We say OK. And now you'll see it's a to-do list and it's kind of a scribbly to-do list, which is kind of neat. I wonder if there's a pinch to zoom. It doesn't look like it. Go ahead and rotate it back so it's a little bit easier to see. And then you'll see there's a little bit of a mark there telling me something's on that page. So there's my memo. There's my note. When I go in, there's the to-do list. And like I said, maybe this button here. There it is. So this here minimizes your menu. And we'll go more into that in the later review. And you can draw on the page. All right. Well, those are my first impressions. Actually, I think that for what you get in the box, you do get the stylus, which again isn't my favorite stylus, but at the same time looks like it is usable. You do get all of these apps standard. You can also view images and you can kind of organize your files. And then you do get the Google Play Store. Let's just to see if that's, it has. So later on, I'll go ahead and sign into this. And then when I do the full review on it, you'll be able to see what this looks like in practice. But for now, let's jump back over and we will do the summary. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for hanging in there with me through the video. Really appreciate it. So, what are my first thoughts? Actually, I don't mind this so far as a little reader. And I think that's, to be clear, that's the primary use case, is to have this as that universal reader and be able to access all of the different reading apps that I've used. I have this problem where I started out on Kindle years ago, switched over to Kobo, fell in love with Libby, and now I have all of these books in different places. The nice thing, and something I'll test out in the final review as well, is that this also allows for audiobooks because there is a speaker that I didn't mention during the unboxing. And we'll see how that sounds, how that works, because I have a lot of things on Audible as well. So, again, kind of just a fun unboxing and first impressions. Would I suggest this as an e reader? Probably, but we'll find out. Again, I haven't lived with it yet. And I still do love my Kobo Aura 1. This is one of my favorite readers of all time. Never um, Never really have a problem with it. I like it a lot. So we'll do a head to head between these two as well. Uh, I may find, I don't know yet, that I enjoy Kobo so much since I still own one that I still read Kobo on the Kobo and then I use the other reader for everything else. Or when I'm on the go and I want only that one device. Thank you again. If you want to support the channel, check us out over on Patreon. Have a bunch of different things going on over there. Have a $1 tier that gives you access to Discord as kind of a basic member and gives you my once a month random thoughts newsletter. And then, of course, if you want to be a supporter, I do have a $5 tier that gives you also a bunch of behind the scenes collections on AI, my drafting process, some of my raw notes for blog posts, just different ways to engage. And that also makes you a VIP on Discord. But you'll see the scroll. Just thank you to everyone who supports me already. Please like, subscribe, jump down into the comments. I think all of you know that I try to never leave an unanswered or an unhearted or an unliked comment. I try to engage with every comment that I get. And sometimes you all just say it so well that I just thank you for it with one of those likes or hearts. And sometimes I'll say thank you for adding your perspective, but I really do appreciate the community that we're building around the channel. But until next time, stay safe and keep on moving forward. I will talk to you soon.